Your boba cart could be the best one in town, and event organizers still might say no thanks. That sounds harsh, but there is a reason behind it, and it has nothing to do with your drinks tasting bad. Event organizers are basically bouncers for a party they are responsible for if anything goes wrong. They are not just picking the tastiest lemonade, they are picking the vendor who looks like they will not cause a headache. Think about it like applying for a job, except the job interview is your application photos and your insurance paperwork. If your photos look like they were taken in a dark garage, that is a red flag before anyone even reads your menu. The number one thing most fairs and markets want first is proof you are legit, which usually means a business license and liability insurance. This is not the fun part, but skipping it is like showing up to a costume party with no costume. You will get turned away at the door. A lot of new vendors think the secret is having the most unique flavor, like a lavender boba or a spicy mango lemonade. Flavor matters, sure, but organizers care way more about whether you can set up fast, stay in your assigned space, and not start fighting with the funnel cake guy next to you. Here is something people mess up constantly. They wait until 2 weeks before the event to apply. Popular fairs lock in their vendor lists sometimes 3 or 4 months early, so applying late is like trying to get into a sold-out concert by knocking on the back door. You also want to match your vendor type to the event's vibe, because a fancy wine festival is probably not the spot for your bubblegum boba cart. Research the event's past vendor lists if you can find them, since that tells you exactly what kind of energy they are going for. A funny truth about pop-up vendor life is that consistency beats creativity almost every time. Organizers would rather book someone boring who shows up on time every single event than a genius who flakes once. Photos are basically your dating profile in this world, so take pictures of your setup looking clean, bright, and inviting. Blurry phone pics from a random parking lot are not going to convince anyone you belong at their county fair. Pricing your application matters too, because a lot of vendors forget there is often a booth fee, sometimes ranging from $50 to a few $100s depending on the event size. Factor that into your decision so you are not surprised when the bill shows up after you already said yes. Something people do not expect is that smaller community events are actually a great training ground. A tiny neighborhood market with 30 visitors might seem unglamorous, but it lets you build a track record and collect reviews before you try to land the big county fair with 10,000 people. Networking sounds like a corporate buzzword, but in the vendor world it is just showing up and being friendly. Other vendors talk to each other and organizers ask other vendors who they trust, so being the chill person at setup can quietly open doors later. If you get rejected, do not take it personally, because sometimes events already have 3 drink vendors and they simply do not need a 4th. Ask politely for feedback anyway, since some organizers will actually tell you what would make your application stronger next time. There is also a seasonal rhythm to this whole thing. Summer fairs and festivals book up fast starting around late winter. If you want a packed summer schedule, you basically need to be applying while it still feels too early, which feels backwards but is exactly how the timing works. Getting accepted is part paperwork, part timing, and part just being the vendor nobody worries about. If you want help figuring out licensing, pricing, or finding more events to apply to, check out our links in the description. If you want to learn more about how we can help your vendor business grow,